three. Terrence Ross just did this over the manimal.
Oh, Canada. Oh, Canada. Oh, Canada.
What is happening, Raptorland? Sean here, as the Raptors miss out on a huge opportunity to take a stranglehold on the Atlantic Division in the 101-97 loss to the Nets. This is the Raptors Wrap-Up. Let's get right into it. Terrence Ross was active right off the bat and played as confident as I've ever seen him play. Ross shot 5 of 9 from the field in the first quarter alone, scoring 12 points with 2 rebounds. Ross wasn't scared to create off the dribble and asserted himself early and often that included a monster highlight reel dunk. It was stretches like these that make you wonder just what kind of ceiling Ross has. He's become near automatic on open 3 balls and is rapidly becoming one of the best young perimeter man defenders in the game. Ross has now scored at least 11 points in 7 straight contests. The Raptors opened the game on an 18-6 run using great ball movement to find plenty of open looks en route to a 30-19 lead after 1. On the other side, Brooklyn's offense was completely out of sync. The lack of ball movement led to way too many ISOs and contested jumpers, as the Nets had just 6 points in the first 7+ minutes of the game. Toronto closed out well on D and were active on the glass. The Nets woke up in the second, winning the quarter 31-21. Brooklyn played tight defense, not giving the Raptors any open shots, something they did far too often in the first. This led to good opportunities in transition. The Nets got high percentage looks, only taking 6 shots outside of the paint, going 8 of 14 from the field. This was highlighted by Shaun Livingston's 3 for 3 from the field in the quarter, all coming in the paint. The 6'7" point guard, averaging less than 8 points a game this season, was 7 of 10 from the field for 18 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists overall. All those looks in the paint also led to Brooklyn getting to the line, where they scored 10 points in the frame from the charity stripe. At the half, Toronto was clinging to a 51-50 lead. The Nets took advantage down low, an area that should have been a weakness with Kevin Garnett, Brook Lopez, and Andrei Kirilenko all out due to injury. But Jonas Valanciunas had a nightmare game. With Patterson out, Jonas saw only 22 minutes and had a game-low -12 rating. Of all the good Dwayne Casey has done, his inability to develop Jonas has been his biggest indictment. He didn't stick with Jonas despite being undermanned and made the ill-advised move of moving to the ice-cold Chuck Hayes in the fourth quarter. Jonas had some of his worst body language all year and actually looks as though he's regressing. With the playoffs fast approaching, it will be interesting to see if the coaching staff can salvage JV. As it stands now, the Raptors will be in major trouble down low if they run into the likes of Joakim Noah, Marcin Gortat, or Roy Hibbert come the spring. Things didn't get any better in the third as the Nets went on a 14-0 run. Joe Johnson and Darren Williams left their mark, knocking down 4 straight 3 balls in a 2-minute span. Williams had one of his trademark red-hot long-distance shooting stretches. The Raptors continually went under screens and Darren made them pay. Williams was 4 of 5 from 3 and finished with 18 points and 5 assists. His offense in the third turned this game around for the Nets. The Raptors didn't quit though, and with the game slipping away on the road in the second night of a back-to-back, Toronto came out of a timeout and went on an 11-0 run of their own late in the quarter. Casey was fuming due to the team's uncharacteristic poor D, and that was tightened up as the Nets were back to getting their contested long jumpers. Heading into the fourth, Brooklyn led 78-73. The Raps were lucky to be down just 5. Lowry and Amir scored all but 8 of Toronto's third quarter points. Amir did an admirable job. He played a big 36 minutes on the second night of a back-to-back and was visibly exhausted late in the game. Amir finished with 16 points on 8 of 14 shooting with 5 rebounds and had an understandably up-and-down game. In the fourth, Toronto and Brooklyn both played with a lot of intensity and the entire quarter felt like crunch time. Casey had an odd rotation on this night and played Vasquez, Hansbrough, Hayes, and Salmons at the same time for half of the quarter. The backups managed to keep the Raps in it though, and they were down just 2 with 6 minutes left. Of course, in a game like this, Lowry's intensity was on full display. The Raps offense faded midway through the third and late in the fourth, but some big shots from Kyle Lowry kept Toronto in it. Kyle scored 8 points in the fourth, including a 3-ball that put the Raptors down 2 with 4 minutes to go just when it looked like the game might be slipping away. Lowry finished with 21 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists in a game-high 38 minutes. Lowry's contribution can't be overstated. On a night where Ross faded after his early start and DeRozan was nowhere to be found, Lowry really picked the team up and put him on his back and almost stole this one for the Raptors. With the Raptors playing well in the fourth, the game was hanging in the balance late, but Paul Pierce just wouldn't let the Nets lose. Pierce has enjoyed playing the Raptors in his career, and despite being a game-time decision with a shoulder stinger, this game was no different. The Truth had 10 points and 3 rebounds in the fourth. Pierce hit a 3-ball to put the Nets up 5 that looked like it might do it with 4 minutes left. Lowry did come back and hit that 3-ball. Of course, Pierce came back the other way and hit a dagger 3-ball with Lowry draped all over him. Toronto wasn't dead yet, but Ross, who wasn't heard from again after his hot start, turned the ball over down 1 with 25 seconds left, and Lowry missed an ambitious 3-ball with 10 seconds to go to seal the win for Brooklyn. You may have noticed I hardly mentioned DeMar DeRozan's name, and that's because he was invisible all game long. Brooklyn clearly came out with a game plan to shut him down, and you may have even forgot he was on the court at times, not taking a single shot in the second and going 0 for 3 in the third. Major props needs to be given to the Nets coaching staff and the wing defenders, especially Sean Livingston, who was the best player on the floor for the Nets. DeMar finished with 14 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist on 3 of 9 shooting in 35 minutes. DeMar will learn from this game that as an all-star, you need to demand the ball in crunch time. DeMar was passive all game and didn't have great body language in the fourth. He finally asserted himself late in the contest and promptly scored 6 points in the final few minutes. I think DeRozan will use this game to learn that he needs to take over earlier and when it matters most. And finally, you have to hand it to Jason Kidd and the Nets. After an atrocious first quarter, one that looked like they could be headed towards a double-digit loss, they were lights out the rest of the game. They got a lot of good looks from deep, going 11 for 20 on the game thanks to good penetration, and the Raps never scored more than 24 points in a quarter over the final 3 frames. So that is going to do it for this edition of the Raptors Wrap-Up. I'll be busy as the Raps schedule ramps up. I'll be posting a preview of the Raps-Pistons game that's taking place tonight. I'll also be live tweeting the game at Raptors Wrap-Up, so follow me there. As always, thanks for watching.